to his left, in trouble and going backward. Trying to make a play, and he does. The brilliance of Mahomes. He finds Damian Williams.
And we are locked in with our NFL picks. Myself, Max Van Auken, Dave the Wave.
Hey, Max, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing phenomenal. I always love doing these locked-in picks. We do it every week. Unfortunately, with our busy schedules, we weren't able to get in the studio last week, but we would have nailed it.
We would have. NFL Week 16. It's the best time of the year. The playoffs, the great teams. Max, I just want to start with something.
Okay.
And I think you know where I'm starting. The Saints and Chargers.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I've never, ever, 34 years of existence in this great, beautiful world we live in America, I've never got close to picking the Super Bowl, ever. Two top teams in the league. Do you agree? Do you like the Saints-Chargers matchup?
Oh, yeah. They're the two of the deepest teams right now in the NFL. The Chargers went under the radar.
Yeah.
And you were spot on the money. That's what makes it so impressive. You were locked in. The Saints, obviously, with Drew Brees, when they beat the Rams, it really showed that they are the number one team. And then ever since then, they kind of pulled away from the Rams, and the Rams kind of took a step back.
Yeah, they lost to Philly last week.
Yeah, but the one thing I'll say is just to be careful of, because the NFL is an ever-changing game.
Oh,
and it's all about runs and streaks, and when do you find your stride, and when don't you, and health. So as of right now, that's the only caveat. Other than that, you are locked in.
Oh, no, I totally agree, Cuzzo. Anything can happen. The playoffs, one injury to Michael Thomas, boom. And the AFC, to me, is still wide open. I like the Colts. They're not even in the postseason. They're like the 7 seed, 8 seed.
Yeah.
If they get in, I can see them going throughout the whole thing. The Chiefs are still great. The Patriots are the Patriots. The Steelers, your pick, are still the Steelers. They just beat New England last week. We're still wide open. I can't wait. All right, you want to get rolling? Week 16, locked in picks.
Are you a superstitious guy?
Yes.
Okay, well then, I've been chewing the same piece of gum all day because that's how great this locked-in day has been. Getting locked in with NBA. We've been in the studio. When you and I are in the studio, great episodes get produced. And, man, we've been talking about NBA, even off-air. So I will continue to chew the same piece of gum if that means more great episodes get produced.
Sounds great, and especially keep chewing that gum because tomorrow night, Island Fights 51, UFC Fight Pass. We will be there live in the building, Max, tomorrow night.
So you're telling me I have to chew the same piece of gum for 3 days straight?
Yes. Yes. Keep chewing.
All right, guys, on all podcast platforms, Locked In with 2 N's, download and subscribe. We do this every week, unless we're doing something spectacular. That's a good excuse on why we don't do it. So, guys, here we go. Your team. You want to start it off?
Yeah, we'll start it off, guys. Saturday, there's 2 games. It's pretty cool. There's no more college football on the weekend. So, Saturday, Washington Redskins, who stayed alive, versus the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. Max, take it away.
I have the Titans at home defeating the Redskins. Enough said.
Yeah, totally agree. It's not a sexy game. There's a lot of sexy games during the week. So let's just keep moving. Tennessee Titans will win.
Okay, now we have the Ravens and Chargers. Now,
sexy game.
Yeah, this is interesting. Now, before we get into our pick, because obviously we talked about how you felt about the Chargers before the season and how we feel about them now. They're a deep team. They have Super Bowl level type of aspirations.
Yes.
But let's talk about the Ravens for 1 second. So It looks like they're ready to move on from Joe Flacco. And who are they loving, Dave?
Lamar Jackson, guys, the rookie quarterback from Louisville.
So Lamar Jackson, who both you and I weren't too high on in the draft. We were Sam Darnold guys. We liked Josh Rosen. He threw a beautiful football. We were okay on Baker Mayfield. We didn't think he'd be a bust. We know he throws an accurate football, but we weren't as high on him as others because of his attitude.
Yeah, and Baker has been really good. But give credit where credit's due.
But Lamar Jackson seems to come out of far left field, and he's playing great football. But let me just ask you this question. Yes, he's playing great football right now. I don't feel comfortable with him running as much as he may want to or others because that's how you get injured. I don't think you can sustain a high level of play with running the football constantly, nonstop, 18 times a game.
Mm-hmm.
But my question for you is, will he be able to maintain this success throughout his career or next season? Is it just because no one has film on him? Is it because he's fresh, he has fresh legs when everybody else is kind of fatigued a little bit? That's where people start to wear down? Or is he just truly legit?
The latter. I really think it's a perfect storm. Baltimore's got a great defense, a great running game, and like you said, there's no film on him. People are tired. People don't know exactly what he's going to do yet, and he's tricking people. Lamar Jackson's playing great, so you have to give him credit for right now, but I don't see this as going to be a year, 3-year, 5-year, 7-year plan. I just don't. You need to throw the ball in the pocket to win in the NFL. I don't like Baltimore's weapons as well. So, hey, they're hot right now. They will not be hot this weekend because, to real quick, I have them losing to the Chargers. The Chargers want that number 1 seed. The Chargers will win this game. So I'm a little cold on Lamar Jackson.
Okay, I got what I wanted to hear. I took that information, I processed it, and I am in agreement as well. The Chargers win at home.
Okay, let's keep on going. Sunday morning, AFC East, Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen running all over the place. He's kind of been a rookie quarterback that's really hard to, put grab your hands around. 1 week he's hot, 1 week he's not, but he's running the ball fantastic. He's playing New England, Tom Brady, the Patriots. Man, that game against Pittsburgh was a great game. 4th and goal, down to the wire. Who do you got, Buffalo or New England?
Okay, I'm glad you have a quarterback. I'm glad you have a quarterback for your Bills.
Are you making fun of Buffalo?
I'm not making fun of them.
Yes, you are. You are. You're making fun of them. Come on.
I just think New England Patriots, after a loss to Pittsburgh, and everyone's like, oh, Tom Brady's showing his age. This roster isn't the same. And they are valid points. They are. Tom Brady's not having a good December, and I understand that. But with Tom Brady and Belichick always being counted out, what do we know one thing for sure? They always bounce back. They love proving people wrong. Tom Brady's had that chip on his shoulder ever since he got drafted late. I think the Patriots are just a better team than the Bills, but I think this is a statement game, especially after losing to Pittsburgh at home, and they're favored minus 12.5.
Yeah, that's a big number.
Yeah, so I'm taking the Patriots at home.
Yeah, totally agree. You said it. Don't have to go that much more into it. Patriots will roll the Buffalo Bills.
All right, what is next on the schedule, Dave the Wave?
Your New York Giants versus the Colts. The Colts had the biggest win of last week. I think they shut the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
They are really trying to get into the playoffs. Your Giants are done, Max. Colts or the Giants?
Well, even though we didn't get to record last week, I'm pretty sure you and I would have been on the same page. We're Andrew Luck guys. I had them beating the Cowboys.
Yep, me too. Agree.
And so no secret here as well. We both kind of talked about it a little bit off air. It could be my 100% locked in, and it probably is. The Colts defeat the Giants, especially at home. The Giants, their playoff aspirations are no longer in existence. They know they're not making the playoffs. I feel like they're already looking towards next season. Do we draft a quarterback? Let's get Odell healthy. I think when you have a locker room that knows there's no end goal for this season, it demoralizes them. Andrew Luck wants to make the playoffs, and he's at home, and he just defeated the Cowboys. Andrew Luck at home, 100% locked in.
Wow. I usually like to have it on an upset, but I agree. 100% locked in. The Colts will roll them. They are one of the hottest teams in the league. Colts win big.
Okay, and what do we have next, Dave? The Wave.
Thanks, Cuzzo. Great game here now. Game maybe a couple weeks ago we didn't think. Texans and Eagles. With the Texans losing 2 in a row and the Eagles now winning, and Dallas losing this game has got playoff aspirations all over them. You don't know if the Texans will be a 2 or a 3 seed or even win their division. The Eagles are trying to fly up. You like that? Fly up. Okay. All right, Texans or Eagles, who you got?
I have the Texans, like you just said. They're bouncing back from 2 losses in a row. Deshaun Watson and this team obviously know they have to win as many games as possible to get a good seeding.
Okay.
And the Eagles are coming off their biggest win of the season against the Rams, which nobody thought they would win.
Yeah.
So what do we always say after a high win or a tough loss? Always keep your eye out on that team. And the Texans are just a better team this year with Deshaun Watson. I'm taking the Texans.
Okay, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to fly with the Eagles and their hot momentum. Nick Foles, the Super Bowl defending champion quarterback, doesn't want to go in the night. I have them defeating the Texans. The Texans keep on sliding. Eagles defeat them 27-26.
Our first disagreement, Texans and Eagles. What is next?
The Florida Bowl. Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Miami Dolphins.
Next. No. Okay.
We're from Florida, Max. Come on, buddy.
Listen, the Jaguars, their locker room has been dismantled ever since the quote. we haven't been high on them ever since they called out. I'm not even going to try to impersonate him. But when he called out, they're going to the Super Bowl. Let's just play one game at a time. The Jaguars fan base is so quick to jump on them, and then you guys get brought back to reality. Blake Bortles is not a legitimate quarterback. They're off Blake Bortles. This locker room is mayhem. The defense doesn't seem into it as much. The Dolphins. And I'm not saying the Dolphins are a special team, but they're more consistent and at home.
Yeah, no, I agree. Guys, Locked In Sports Podcast, download on any podcast platform. AFC South. Before the season started, I had the Texans winning the division with Deshaun Watson coming back healthy, Max's number one quarterback. I had the Colts being a surprise team, winning 8-9 games this year, which they're on pace to do. Third place, I had the Titans, which I thought is a 500 team, which exactly they are. And my bold, locked-in prediction was Jacksonville to be dread awful from winning the AFC South last year, going into the AFC Championship game, losing to the Patriots. I had them around 4 or 5 wins, and people made fun of me on Twitter about it. Laugh at me now. They're horrible, disgusting. Jalen Ramsey doesn't care if the coach gets fired or not. The Jaguars are in a downward spiral. Dolphins win, continue their playoff aspirations in the AFC. Florida Bowl champion, the Dolphins.
Okay, next we have the Packers at the Jets. Who do you have?
Wow. We have one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league today, and then Aaron Rodgers.
I see what you did there.
You like that? Sam Darnold and the Jets keep the train rolling. They win at home. They defeat the Packers.
Talk about mayhem and being having a dismantled locker room and a downward spiral. The firing of McCarthy, all this drama, then they win and then they lose again. I think this season is a lost season for the Packers.
Yes.
I think this season is one that Packer fans want to forget, and yes. I think this is one that Sam Darnold is developing and getting better game in and game out.
Yes.
In agreement, Sam Darnold wins at home.
Wow. Love it, Cuzzo. All right, another AFC North call by me was I thought this year the Browns would have more wins than the Bengals. They would not be in the cellar of the AFC North. This game, everything is on the line. They heard it. They heard on the Locked In Sports podcast. Baker Mayfield trying to win more wins than the Bengals. Browns at Bengals. Max, take it away. Who you got?
This is tough because the Bengals have been somewhat unpredictable this season. It's like they play the big games tough, but I don't really trust them fully.
Sure.
But Baker Mayfield has been on fire.
He's hot.
Everybody wants to go with the fire. But rookie quarterbacks can be inconsistent. They can be unpredictable, especially with a demeanor and attitude of Baker Mayfield, who's really high on the highs, but then really low on the lows.
Okay.
So this one is up in the air for me. But I'm going to go since Baker's at home, and I'm going to go with the momentum.
One thing Baker says, and there's a lot of things I don't like about him, Cuzzo. I love in the morning, he goes, man, I woke up dangerous today. I like when he says that.
Yeah.
You know what?
He stole that from me. I said it on the podcast.
Baker stole it from you. I woke up dangerous. I think he is going to be dangerous. I think he will win the game with the Browns and fulfill my locked-in statement of saying the Bengals will be the worst team in the AFC North. I have the Browns defeating the Bengals.
Okay, and what is next on the NFL Week 16 locked-in schedule?
The boys versus the Bucks. Cowboys, after getting shut out, they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cowboys at home. I'm going to say it real quick. Cowboys roll the Bucks.
In agreement, especially with, like you said, everything on the line now. Every game is so crucial for pretty much every team in the NFL. I think it was like 14 out of 16 teams like this upcoming week.
No, 14 out of 16 games have
I'm sorry,
playoff
yes.
aspirations involved with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So now with the Cowboys, after that tough loss, the first time they got shut out in how many years? It was something crazy.
Really?
Yeah. It was the first time the Cowboys got shut out, and I'll look up that stat. But anyway, after being shut out, I have the Cowboys bouncing back as well.
Okay. Sounds good. Keep it rolling, guys. Minnesota Vikings, with everything on the line, their postseason on the line, travel to Detroit, NFC North matchup. If I could take this away first, Max, it's a gut feeling. Not a lot of facts, not a lot of things about it. I just think Minnesota has everything on the line. Detroit has nothing. They just want to play the spoiler. They don't want Minnesota to advance into the postseason. I have Detroit and Matt Stafford upsetting Minnesota at home. It's a gut feeling. There you go.
I'm going to disagree. I'm just going to go with my heart. I just think the Vikings win. I just think they're the better team. Not a big fan of the Lions this year. It's no secret. They are at home, so I will give you that, but I'm going to go with the Vikings, our second disagreement.
Sounds good. Disagree to disagree.
All right.
Falcons versus Panthers. NFC South. Panthers just lost a really close game Monday Night Football. Their season's definitely over. Falcons' season is over. A mess of a game. You can't win or you can't lose. I don't know, Max. Falcons or Panthers?
Cam Newton's been in a funk. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. You think he's hurt?
That's what the question is, right? So
mentally or physically?
I think mentally he can be inconsistent. I think he's another player that I think gets really high on the highs and wears the flashy clothes and does the dancing. But then when he starts to question himself, it obviously shows and it's transparent on his level of play.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with the Panthers. They're at home. And like you said, both teams aren't making the playoffs, so it may not mean that much. But I'll take the Panthers at home, especially after a tough loss to the Saints. Going with the Panthers.
Okay, let's disagree to disagree. I'm going to go with the Falcons. I'm just going to go with Matt Ryan has a more explosive offense, and I think that Cam is just done. I think their season ended Monday night against the Saints, and Atlanta knows their season's been done for a couple weeks, so they're almost more loose. They're having fun. I don't think they're in that funk. And to disagree, I'm going to go with the Falcons.
It's a good call.
Thanks, man. All right, keep it rolling. Bears versus 49ers. The Bears just wrapped up the NFC North. They are the division champs. They go to San Fran. They travel west. Is that a big deal to you? Do they keep on winning?
The Bears win. And San Fran just got a big win, didn't they?
Yeah, they're playing good lately. They're playing teams tough. They just beat Seattle in overtime.
Yeah, so after such a high win that nobody pretty much thought they would win, we all pretty much thought the Seahawks would win that game. Well, I know I did for sure.
I did too.
I think the Bears beat them. I think they just have a momentum going right now. Khalil Mack, as well as Matt Nagy. And I'm not as high on Trubisky, but he seems to be working with Nagy, so I'm going to go with the Bears.
Yeah, I agree. Too much on the line for Chicago. They can reach the second seed in the NFC playoffs. They could catch a bye, which would be really big for them. So I got them beating San Fran.
Then we also have the Rams and the Cardinals. The Rams obviously suffering a tough loss recently. Who do you have, Dave?
Easy Rams. I know they just lost. I think the Cardinals, worst record in the league, about to be for the number one pick of the draft. Rams roll them 30-7.
In agreement, I have the Rams as well. Just a flat-out better team.
Okay, the two best games of the week. There's 3 games left, but these are the two I really want to break down and get into. Steelers-Saints. Could be a Super Bowl preview. The two great teams, two great offenses. Pittsburgh had the biggest win of the year. They traveled to New Orleans to play the Saints.
Okay, I want to take this one. So the Steelers, like you just said, they were my Super Bowl pick. I had them winning the whole thing. I had them in the Super Bowl against the Falcons. Obviously, that's not going to happen. The Falcons didn't make the playoffs. But what they proved to me against the Patriots is that they're just so frustrating, Dave. They can play with the best of them and win. But then they could just be so inconsistent and their mind is just not locked into the game and they lose to the Raiders. So you don't know what you're getting, but one thing you do know you will get is when they play these big games, they always come up and they play and they always have a shot at winning these big games.
Yeah, good point.
So that's what's interesting. But they did just come off the biggest win of the season against the Patriots, as well as they're on the road in the Dome with Drew Brees. I'm going to go with the Saints at home.
Wow. I disagree. I liked where you were going with this. Pittsburgh, to me, can beat any team, any place, anywhere when they play up to their level.
Yeah.
So this is what I think. They just played up to that level last week against New England and beat them. And now there's no harder game in the league than going to the Saints and playing the number one ranked team in the NFL, the Saints. I got Pittsburgh going into New Orleans and upsetting them. Great game. The game of the day, 31-30. Steelers upset the Saints.
Just for my Super Bowl prediction, I would love to see it. But I just think Drew Brees in the Dome is just unstoppable.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
Hey, going out on the limb. Picking the Steelers.
All right. And lastly?
No, 2 games left. This is the Sunday night game. The Monday night game's not that great. It's the Broncos-Raiders. That game's for Richie and Donnie. Yeah. All right. Sunday night, Chiefs and Seahawks. Chiefs, best record in the AFC. They're tied with the Chargers. They need to win. They're going to the great Northwest to Seattle. Can I go on this one first?
Yeah.
Chiefs beat them. I think everyone thinks Seahawks at home. They just lost in overtime. Looking ahead, I think KC knows how big this game is. They need to win. They're the better team with the better offense. I got the Chiefs beating the Seahawks.
And they're both coming off 2 tough losses, right?
Correct.
So, yeah, both teams need to win this game.
Yes.
But I'm taking the MVP, Patrick Mahomes, as well.
Okay. All right, then last game of the day, guys, Monday Night Football. The Raiders versus the Broncos.
Is the NBA on that night? No, I'm fine. No, seriously. I'm going to go with the Broncos. I don't trust the Raiders. We could have a disagreement here, but I'm going with the Broncos.
Going with the Broncos as well. I agree. We've had enough disagreements of the day. We had 4, the most we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
I love it, guys. That was it.
Guys, download, subscribe,
yes.
Locked In with 2 N's. We do this every single week, our Locked In picks.
I do want to say one last thing.
Are you actually going to say it?
Don't drink and drive.
And like always, stay locked in.